Blindspot Season 3 premiere, Back to the Grind. This is a pretty good first episode, which I was insanely fortunate to even realize was coming on because I don't watch anything on NBC outside of Blindspot. I think there might be one other show, but mostly it's just Blindspot. And the only reason I even knew this episode was coming out this week was because I actually checked on Friday. I was like, I should probably check because I might be behind, because that always tends to happen to me where it's like I'll watch like one show and then I'll just forget to check on it because I'm like, oh, I'll figure out when my shows are coming on, but it's like not if that's the only show that I watch. So fortunately I checked on the day it premiered. I just didn't get to see it until today because I didn't have it set to record. But the show is on its new day on Fridays. Hopefully that doesn't have an effect on the ratings. That's kind of a big deal with shows when they're premiering on Friday nights instead of pretty much any other night of the week. People tend to be going out for the weekend, but now that like DVR and stuff like that actually counts towards ratings, I don't think we should have any issue, because this is definitely a great first episode. So I think people that are still that have been following along with the show are definitely going to stay interested, because I think this was a great first episode and it's a great change for the show. They did it in a really cool way too, because it was like, in a sense, of course they went back to there's brand new tattoos, the bioluminescent tattoos, which I thought was cool. They give us the answer that they haven't been there this whole time and they're actually brand new tattoos that Roman put on Jane. And so he's the one who's kind of restarting this whole thing, and he says that it's for penance. And I was like, okay, so that's kind of cool, but it could definitely fall back into the same sort of tropes if they're going back into just doing the same thing. It just might be crazier considering Roman was the one that did the tattoos. But it's like, all right, that's definitely the familiar state of things. And then it gets to the end of the episode and it's like, okay, so even though everyone's kind of coming back together, we have the CIA working with them, or well, CIA and FBI working together, or whatever they are, because honestly I can't even remember all the letters and who works for who. But with the two companies working together, it's going to cause a bit of conflict, and mostly that comes from Zapata realizing that there's this Dragonfly tattoo, and she knows that that's involved in something that the CIA is doing. And so that's something that she's going to have to hide from the team, and of course that's going to get discovered. And then we have the fact that Patterson actually knew that Rich was working for the FBI, and she knew, like, they met at some point between these 2 years. So I thought that was interesting as well. I was like, alright, that's definitely something, especially for his character, that's probably something illegal, so who knows. But I was like, okay, there's a secret there. Jane's kind of just doing her thing. She has like a million passports and the money. That's kind of like, with her having gone on the run, that's probably not that crazy. But at the same time, she had like a bunch of different passports, so I feel like there's something to that. Like, why did she have so many different passports if the CIA came in, after they revealed that there's a big hit on her? It's like, why would she need that many different, fake identities? Which it could, come down to the fact that with this insane bounty on her head for, a year and a half, it kind of does make sense that she'd have multiple identities as she kind of moves from country to country, as she's like almost spotted, stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that's what that is. It could be, her big secret, that she had all these different identities because she was doing other things. And then we find out even Kirkman has something. Like, the only person that doesn't have anything at this point is Reid, and he's just, leading the team. And Kirkman, we find out, did something in Berlin. We have no idea what in the world that means, but Roman is the one that threatened him with it. And he's so freaked out by it that he went along with it. I was like, I don't know exactly what that means, but Berlin is crazy, apparently. So there's a lot of secrets to be revealed to the the rest of the team from pretty much every other member of the team. The fact that Rich.com is working with them is hilarious, by the way. I thought that was great because he's super funny and stupid. So I don't know if he's going to be like an actual regular, if he's going to be in every episode, but that would be great because they always give him like the greatest dialogue and it's the funniest stuff. Plus, naturally, that tension that's going to be there with him possibly screwing up Patterson's lie. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out. Probably more than anything else, I want to see how that plays out, just because I'm curious what they did, because considering it's Rich.com, I just have to imagine it's got to be some illegal, crazy scheme that he'd come up with. And Patterson decided to join him just because, things were very different and everyone kind of, went their separate ways. So I don't know, but that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. But all in all, I'm definitely excited for this season. Roman is our main villain. The new tattoos, of course, kind of going through the same process, but with them being brand new, I assume they have to lead to newer secrets, and who knows what that means as far as the overarching story, because he's doing this for totally different reasons than his mother. Like, she did it because it's like, this is what we're doing to take down the country, pretty much. Like, change the world order that's why they did the stuff with the tattoos. And for Roman, it's like, nope, this is your penance, and who knows what that means. Of course, it ties into the CIA. I'm sure, of course, it's the same level of madness as far as what's going to get revealed and things like that. But it's like, is there an end goal? Is it just to torture them? What is going to happen to everyone outside of our main characters because he wants to target Jane? So how, that's what I'm curious about. But it seemed really cool. The action in this episode was really good. They had some pretty funny moments. Like, they do a great callback to the very first episode with Jane in the duffel bag after Weller's able to hit her with the antidote. And, they have her, like, come out of it and she's stretching and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's a cool callback. And then they just beat up everybody. There were, like, a ton of people. They were just destroying Weller, which I thought was kind of a funny scene. Like, she's getting out in slow motion and this, like, flower, on a time lapse, like, slowly growing outward because of the sun. And I'm like, they're just beating him to a pulp right now. And she's, like, slowly getting out of this duffel bag. But they just beat everybody up and they walk out and everything's good. We have our cool chase sequence early on with Roman when he's running and they're on the boats and stuff, and Weller's trying to hold on as much as he can. Then eventually he gets on the boat and they have a little fight. Then he's kicked off the boat and Jane picks him up. And I was like, that was cool. It was a nice little sequence. They cut, but it was like, man, how far they ended up, from within the city. I was like, if that was real time, that would have taken forever. Like, he would have been holding on, considering that distance. That would have been like 15 minutes of him just holding on to the front, not being able to climb up. And it made me laugh because I was like, he's so far away from the city by the time they end and, Weller gets kicked off. I'm like, they're so insanely far. And he'd only been on the boat for like maybe a minute worth of time. And it was just super funny to be like, that whole time, if he was holding on to the side, that was like 10 minutes long. So it made me laugh, but I really did enjoy that sequence. We get to see the characters come together with Reid, Zapata, and Patterson when they are locked up. Turns out that Roman wasn't actually holding them captive. He caught them and then was like, all right, I kind of just sold them off to the highest bidder. So they end up being sold off to basically unlock some government secrets, within a safe. So they have their moments. Reid and Zapata have these arguments, between the whole ideals of the CIA and how they stop talking to each other and things like that. So I was like, all right, we get to see where the characters are and how, even though, by the end of the episode they do come together as a team, there are still those secrets there that, with it being the show, it won't tear them apart, but it'll cause some conflict for an episode or two, or, it'll just be stuff that lasts throughout, at least the season, if not the entire series. But definitely thought it was a good episode. I'm very excited for where we're headed this season with Roman as the main villain. Whatever's going to happen with these new tattoos. Because since I saw this episode online, I haven't seen the promo yet for like the whole season, so I don't really know what to expect at all, even going into the next episode. But I'm very excited for this season. I think they did a really good job switching things up while also keeping them the same, because we have the team, we have the tattoos, but everyone's got their secrets. We don't really know how hardcore these tattoos are going to get and what they're going to be directed towards. If it's just like, here's just a random secret, which that's kind of how most of the tattoos seemed anyway in the last 2 seasons. But now it just makes me wonder, what is Roman going to be doing? So definitely looking forward to what's coming this season. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about this premiere, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And I would love to know your theories and just what you guys want to see for this season, how things might play out with Roman as the main villain, how that may or may not change. I like him as the main villain. I would love it if somehow that they could reconcile that, but considering everything he did just in this first episode, it's like, okay, I think he's going to stay the main villain maybe until they kill him. They could end up capturing him and he's just like in prison permanently or something like that. I don't know. But it's just like, man, yeah, he should be a good villain. So I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, we'd love to know your theories and just what you guys want to see for this season. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.